Hey guys, welcome back to the Bucket Think Tank for the round of Comic Corner, and today we're going to get into it with another two books. I've no idea what's going on. I guess I need to add some books from now on. I can't trust them to whatever. Anyway. So, Dark Crisis on Infinite Earths brings its World Without a Justice League series to an end with Green Arrow, and it's really weird because currently Dark Crisis on Infinite Earths already showed all of the Justice League escaping their perfect world. And the reason I have to put quotations in because I don't really think it's their perfect world, especially after this one. So this one is really about how Green Arrow cannot function without Black Canary. And not even not function, but even in his perfect world, he still finds her, which wouldn't be that weird. But anyway, let's start to it. So apparently Green Arrow's perfect dream world is where he's Robin Hood. He's Robin Hood, and his merry men are here. Roy is there. He's got his problems. Mia's there, and of course Connor's there, and they're all just being the merry men of Sherwood Forest. And yeah, while chasing Merlin, he ends up in another place. It's weird. So he ends up in a city where he runs into Black Canary, and they don't know each other, but I know something, something about you. And this just leads to them having a fight, feeling this weird sexual tension, and then they don't even notice that they're being followed by this mysterious figure. And yeah, it just keeps going. Then they go to a nightclub and they drink. They talk, but hey, so this is what I do on my world place. This is what you do in yours, okay? And then they just start flirting, and yeah, then an explosion happens, and it turns out this person who's been following them is the Green Arrow, is Oliver Queen when he was stuck on that island. And he's like, you were better off without her. All that matters is us. And just the work, and then Canary and Oliver fight him off, and kill him. And yeah, it's kind of it. This whole story is being narrated by Oliver Queen. So apparently, Oliver's perfect world is one where he can narrate him meeting Black Canary, but Black Canary doesn't fit into his world. He has to merge their two. It doesn't make sense because later we find out that Pariah actually created separate Earths for them, but they kept pulling themselves towards each other. And at one point, Pariah goes, well, I'll just have to kill Green Arrow. She's like, no. So hear me out. What if you just put us on an Earth together? And that way we won't have to find each other and all be fine. Pariah's like, yeah, fine, sure, whatever, here you go. And the reason this is weird is because how is each of their perfect worlds not already with them? So is the idea the world without a Justice League mean the Justice League never met? So the ideal perfect world is just them with their own solo books? Is that kind of it? But by default, if they love each other so much, why isn't their perfect world with their perfect person? If Oliver Queen loves if Oliver Queen loves Dinah so much, why is his perfect world one without her in it? Same with Dinah. If her perfect world is her ideal world, one she'd never want to leave, why is Oliver Queen not in it? So how does this relationship work? It's kind of stupid. And apparently Pariah's tried multiple times to do this. At one point, he probably just put them both together to begin with. How he didn't figure that out, I don't know. He's probably trying to figure out why this makes no sense. Why they don't imagine the person they love the most in the perfect world. Superman's perfect world had Lois, had John, had Krypto. They were there. Kendra, or Shayera, as Hawkgirl, her perfect world didn't have Carter, but whatever. What she really wanted was to be able to die, have one last life, and then would just finally be able to rest. All right. Green Arrow, weird. John Stewart was married, had a wife at one point, and she's not in his perfect world. Unless I missed her. I might have missed her, but no. So I don't get how this, what is a perfect world that the Justice League would never want to leave? Right, so we got mentions of Batman's perfect world. Apparently, in Batman's perfect world, he doesn't have his sidekicks, which kind of makes sense. In Batman's perfect world, or Bruce's perfect world, they never needed to be sidekicks. Not only was he getting a good handle on Gotham City, the tragedies that put them on that path never happened. That's my guess. So, I don't get, like, Barry's perfect world apparently didn't really involve him being a superhero. He just had like a Leave It to Beaverland world. So I don't quite get how any of these perfect worlds are supposed to function. Aquaman's perfect world was everything was going fine. Even Black Manta wasn't a bad guy. So I'm like, okay, he at least put some thought into his. But I don't. Yeah, this was just bad. This whole thing was a mistake. Like, the one bad day angle at least doesn't have to be as internally consistent because it's not part of a bigger story being told. Allegedly. Like, maybe it'll be like one super issue where Batman has to take them all down. I don't know. But here, we're supposed to trap them in a world they don't want to leave. Yet, I keep seeing worlds that they clearly would want to leave. Except Aquaman. His life was perfect. Superman even knew, like, this is a fake world. I'm just going to hang out here until something happens. Didn't get it. And his perfect world was terrible. Apparently, his perfect world is still Darkseid slaughtering millions. He just can't. And he's like, oh, can't do anything about it. Have to be my son who does it. I don't get that at all. But anyway, enough of the proverbial bitching. I'm also in a mood because that whole Pokemon trailer for today that came out, by the time I'm watching this, it is the 12th. With that gym leader thing, no, that was, no. Unless they all start talking in the actual game, that was a waste of time. But anyway, enough of our complaining. Let's go to our next book, which was far better. It's very sad that the best book so far end up being Batman. It just is. Next up is Batman versus Robin, and this was actually a really good book. But it's really more of a recap of exactly what's going on. And what I mean by that is the events of this book are coming off of two other titles. There's Robin by Joshua Williamson and World's Finest Batman Superman, written by Mark Waid. So this story starts off with a scene in Atlantis, with with Jinx, and this other dude, Tarnarak, coming in to steal this ruby, this mystic gem. And so they're like, yeah, you're not gonna stop us, boop boop a doop. They meet my arch nemesis Clarion, the Witch Boy, and I thought that was, I actually don't know who the Man in the Hat is. I probably missed it, but anyway, as Damian looks on in the background menacingly with Mother Soul, they force Black Alice, along with the help of the devil Nisha. I'm not sure how you pronounce the S if it's backwards, but this devil, who was from Batman Superman World's Finest by Mark Waid, is forcing Black Alice to transfer all that magic into the Helmet of Fate. And it's apparently a very painful process, and Damian is sort of like distancing himself from it. He's like, you know what, he's been accused of hiding, but distancing himself from it because he doesn't care for this level of suffering, so we still don't quite know what's up with Damian. Meanwhile, Batman and Alfred are dealing with Felix Faust, who is losing his mind from remembering another adventure he had with the Justice League when he attached them to his fingers. And that didn't go so well. But anyway, they arrive at the House of Tartarus. And this is where we hopefully find the answers that we need. And as they walk through the mysterious house they fall through, they end up on Lazarus Island, where they see the events of Robin's story on that island with that tournament, as they battle and kill the Lazarus demon. So, this is sort of the connection here, who the Mother Soul is, who Bruce did not know that Mother Soul is Ra's al Ghul's mom. He's like, what? Because Ra's has never really brought any of the people, he's brought very few people back to life. In his own family. He's brought his daughters back, he's brought his dad back, he's never brought his wives back. So that's hilarious to me. So Bruce has no reason to know about her, because even if she was alive, even if didn't know about her, she'd be dead. But he's like, oh, okay. This has something to do with the Al Ghuls. Damn it. All right. So then they go to another one where it's a play. We talk about the origins of the Lazarus pits and the devil that created them, the Lazarus resin. And Alfred's like, hey, did you know about the Lazarus origins? He's like, I'm not aware of it. It's kind of as in Talia shows up, well, a version of Talia shows up, and like, okay, so let me show you exactly what's going on. And then it reveals that, hey, at Lazarus Island, Damien opened a gate, and Bruce realized, oh crap, I know where that gate is, and what Damien opened was the devil Nesha, the island, the immortal. So this is where the Lazarus Pits come from. I don't know what that resin is. Is it his earwax? Is it his spit? Oh, that's his blood. Anyway, he mentioned that, hey, in Batman Superman World's Finest, we seal that demon away. He has the power to possess anyone. And it was a whole thing. It was about a good, 6 issues? To deal with that whole thing. It involved time travel and everything. It was kind of intense. And then we see that it possessed Damien. I'm like, okay, so the devil Nishu? I'm gonna call him Kyle. And so Devil Kyle possesses Damien. And that's why Damien's doing what he's doing. And then it turns out this isn't an illusion. Damien's here like, hey, you've now seen what's going on. Boop, boop, ba-doop. See these strings? This might be a reference to Tower of Babel. And, yeah, so they kick Batman out. Well, Batman escapes. And Mother Soul's like, so why'd you let him go? Look, I've done exactly what he needs me to do. So, because I know every move he's going to make. All right? Because now I know his next move. All right? As tough as he is, his greatest trait has always been his ability to adapt, to think about the next move forward. And people always underestimate him for that. But I'm not going to underestimate him. And Mother Soul's apparently so impressed, she gives him his own little bat suit. Oh my god. Oh my god, not that suit. First of all, the collar is always stupid. Alright? I'm sorry people that love this in the Morrison era, but no, the collar was stupid. Also, we're just pointing out that Damien once again is going to have a role in the apocalypse. Maybe we do need to kill Damien, because every time he has a big story, it's about him possibly causing the end of the world. So, I don't know. Anyway, he's also been given Robin, so Mother Soul, or Demon Kyle, has possessed the Robins. I'm like, okay, so, it's kind of impressive. It's actually a good team. If Cass was there, it'd be OP, but it's just good enough. But anyway, as Bruce and Alfred begin to make their next move, pointing out that they can't get Superman or anyone else involved because the demon Nesha, or Kyle, will possess them, and then it's a whole other can of worms. They walk off, and while Bruce doesn't notice it, we see that clearly the devil Nesha is involved with Alfred's return, as we see his shadow in place of Alfred's. And that's how the comic ends. So, ultimately, this issue was, again, most of a recap, but it was a good recap. It was a very clever way to say it. Instead of just spewing exposition, we used the magic of the House of Tartarus to sort of like, hey, this is where this first part came, this is where this second part came, this is where this third part came. And we brought a bunch of interesting characters and whatnot. Still, the story doesn't progress further, but the mystery progresses. So, that's fun. Points to Mark Waid for this. Not a big fan of his apparently upcoming project, well, Lazarus Planet, which starts in January, which is right after the whole Dark Crisis on Infinite Earths. Dark Crisis on Infinite Earths ends. So we're starting off our new line, or new initiative, or our new reset of continuity with another big event. Why couldn't we just do this after Dark Crisis? I mean, the whole thing. Nothing about this story really happens. We could easily say that the events of Dark Crisis happen before Damien does his thing. I think that means primarily that DC will return Alfred to life after the events of Dark Crisis on Infinite Earths. So they have to do this little tease with Alfred. But who knows? Anyway, with that in mind, this brings me to a close here. If you are new to the Bucket Think Tank, feel free to like, comment, share, subscribe, and smash the thumbs up video, and I'll catch you all later. This is Bucket Think Tank signing off. Thanks for watching. As always, may your fandom serve you well.